Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Hannah Horror here today. It is a lovely Friday morning. And today is the Psycho Day. I thought this would be a great video. Something I've been wanting to do in a franchise I really love. What we're going to do in typical Christian Hannah Horror fashion is we're going to do a Psycho series review. I'm not going to do one individual video and tease you guys. Here we go. We're doing all four of them. Now, excuse, I can't find my DVD. I was going to use that as just a little image, as a little bit of imagery. It's somewhere in there, guys, and I figured why not just make the video instead of looking for it for an hour. It's not going to affect the video. So let's get started. The first Psycho movie. Without it, we may possibly not have Halloween. We may possibly not have Friday the 13th. The domino effect wouldn't have happened because that first domino wouldn't have gone down. I understand that wasn't the first slasher movie. I get that, but it still was in a sense. It still was in the sense that it really brought that genre up close to your face. I mean, it really was. It's one of, in my opinion, it's the greatest horror movie ever made. It's not my favorite, but respect is given where it's due. Absolutely, Alfred Hitchcock created an incredible movie. Just absolutely incredible. I mean, I really don't know too much of what to say about it. I thought Anthony Perkins was just phenomenal in that movie. So, the first Psycho, without a doubt, one of the greatest movies in the world by one of the greatest directors in the world. Moving on. I'll never quite know if they made this movie after he died because he didn't want to make it, or they just said, well, let's bring back the spirit of Alfred Hitchcock and keep Psycho alive and make a sequel. That's not something I quite know. I'm kind of curious about that. But needless to say, Psycho 2 did come out not too terribly long after the death of Alfred Hitchcock. This movie blows your freaking balls away. I love Psycho 2. Getting ready to watch it, I was watching Cinemassacre.com. I'm sure a lot of you on here know who that is. James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd. Well, he does a lot of stuff. And I remember seeing a review for Psycho 2, and I was like, huh? Psycho 2. Sure enough, I got ready to watch it, and I put it in, and I was just like, wow, this is awesome. It doesn't really seem like a really big budget movie. Nothing too extravagant. Just the feel of the movie is perfect, and Anthony does a great job returning to be Norman Bates. Just phenomenal. To Anthony Hopkins is to Norman Bates as Robert Englund is to Freddy Krueger. There really is no one else who could have been that role. That's my opinion anyway. I just think Anthony is the best. He knows how to be soft yet on edge at the same time, that but still likable. We all love the character of Norman Bates, especially in the sequels. At least I know I do. I love the character. I'm on his side. I don't care if he's crazy. I'm with him, which just seems like a very bizarre thing that an actor can accomplish. So Psycho 2 is an incredible movie. These are all going to be spoiler free in case you haven't seen these. This is a great movie from the early 80s. And a lot of the early 80s horror was what they say was the heyday of the slasher genre. Not that I would really call this a slasher film. To an extent it is, but it really, to me, I don't think of it as one. But Psycho 2 is a great addition. Moving on. 1986 brought us Psycho 3. Now, one thing to note is the man himself, Anthony, directed Psycho 3. First time watching Psycho 3, I wasn't expecting a whole lot, and I was very surprised at how much I did enjoy it. One thing to note is that now this feels like a slasher film, but you still get the house, you get the motel, you get good characters. There's one character in this movie that's from Friday the 13th Part 5, so that was cool to see her in there. You'll recognize her if you see this movie, and if you've already seen it, you know who I'm talking about. This movie is awesome. The soundtrack is awesome. The look is awesome. It really does feel a lot like 2, just a little bit more edgier slasher movie type. And for that, I absolutely adore it. Great movie. Absolutely great movie and a great addition. This one seems to be a lot of fan favorites, especially slasher movie favorites, because it does really feel like a slasher movie. So definitely one to check out if you haven't checked it out. Don't skip it. Psycho 3. And last but not least, 1990 brought us Anthony Perkins in Psycho 4, The Beginning. So when you hear that, you're probably saying The Beginning. Now, what does this mean? Well, obviously, you realize it's probably a prequel. And it is, but it isn't. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of flashback scenes in this. I don't really want to give too much away if you haven't seen it, but there's a lot of flashback scenes in this while there's a story going on in present day at the same time. For a low television budget movie, this is awesome. I really do mean that. What's really great about this is they do something that, I'm not a fan of flashback scenes a lot in movies, especially movies where the main story is the flashback, because it's already in the past, and what you're seeing them talking is in the present, and obviously they're there, so they didn't die, whoever's telling the story, and things like that, because to me it's almost like, well, I already know what's going to happen. But I will give this movie this. The people involved in the flashback scenes and stuff were great. They were great scenes. They were scenes that you haven't heard of stories before. They were while they were flashbacks, there are things that you've never heard of in the Psycho franchise and stories that had never been talked about. So this was a great movie, directed by Mick Garris, a great horror director. Psycho 4, The Beginning, excellent addition, excellent way to end the series. It really was. Love this movie. I really do love this movie. So if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. So that's that. I'm not going to include, the remake, because it's just, it's a remake. It doesn't. I never include remakes in franchise reviews because it doesn't feel like part of the franchise. But I will make one comment about the show. I did enjoy the Bates Motel show to a certain extent. Now, I definitely don't hold it on par with the franchise itself. Not because I don't want to. Believe me, I want to. I'd love to see a show that can really hold its own with the original movies. But quite frankly, that's just not the case. But it's a different world today. The style of the show is more in essence of, so many things change. The way movies are done changed. The way acting has changed. So you can never really have a real comparison to what things used to be. But I do enjoy the show. I really do. But Psycho, one of the greatest franchises of all time. It really is. Love the show. Love the movies. I really do. I love the sequels. They're just incredible. Everyone that Anthony was in was just phenomenal. And at least that's my opinion. So what are your guys' thoughts on the Psycho franchise? Are you a big a fan of it as I am? Or do you not like some of the sequels? I'd love to get your feedback. But anyway, this is a great video. This has been a great video to do. And this is Christian Anna Horror. And we will see you guys this weekend. Y'all have a great day.